This is such trash, man. I thought we were past this. I thought they were a contender. I thought they were going to win all the time. I would get to do fist bumps. Why are they losing? I hate this. I don't know, man. It's kind of nice and familiar. I feel like we're getting back to our roots. Hi, Leafs Nation. Stand witness for Austin Lucas. Full biblical. Austin Matthews is the Leaf. Why do I watch hockey? Stressfully, mostly. Are you in? Those imposters who took the ice wearing Leafs jerseys last night lost 4-2 to the Philadelphia Flyers. Frauds! I'm getting really sick of this, I'm getting really tired of this, and just because Babcock seems to understand what the problem is doesn't make me feel any better, because it still exists! I'm angry this morning, okay? I'm pissed off. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I'm trying to diet, I got this coffee crisp in front of me, and I want to eat it, but I'm just got it in front of me to make me mad because I know I can't eat it. In fact, this is kind of appropriate. This actually kind of works. It is so appropriate that the Leafs are going on a losing skid right before Halloween because I think it is an apt comparison for how they are playing this season. The Leafs playing style, oh god, it's so sweet. Who wants to do hard stuff like defense and structure? Goals, offense, it's the best. And it even works for you for a while. Look at their record from a few games ago. Pretty good. But like packing away the sweets, it catches up with you, doesn't it? Oh, you can get away with it every now and then, but sometimes you go to the gym and you play a team like the Senators. You beat one of the hottest teams in the league in the LA Kings because of course. And you go, see, I can have one more. You get skated into the ground by the Hurricanes and you just look like trash against the Flyers. You outshoot the Flyers in 2 of the 3 periods, but you get outshot 16-8 in the second, and that's where they scored the game-winning goal and the insurance marker. Not good enough. We all chirped Drew Doughty because he said the Leafs aren't a contender just yet because look at them defensively, and then the Leafs beat the Kings and we laughed at him. He's friggin' right, man. Look at this team. Look at that. What was that? Okay, sorry. No. Let's get this together. Let's talk about the game. And then I got another rant. About halfway through the first, Austin Matthews and Nazem Kadri freaking dirty goal, and it looks like that is the way the game is going to be. Scott Laughton, who passes to Brandon Manning, easiest goal of his entire life, game is tied. Manning sent a text and Polak left him on red. Leafs forwards with the back checking of those strangers you play EASHL with. And Borgman getting punked and bullied by Scott Laughton. Hey, we're used to that. We're just used to it usually being Wayne Simmons on Dion Phaneuf. But we've moved on. It's a new era. Now it's new players making the Leafs look like trash on home ice. Good. Late in the first, Jakub Voracek just walks in, shoots on Freddie. Hey, that's a nice goal. You know what? That's a nice goal. They let him waltz in, and it just went in. Flyers take the lead permanently. Steve, are you just going to gloss over? No. The play originally broke down because Leo Komarov was interfered with well away from the Leaf zone. You know how I recently said and have commonly said, hey, you can get away with a lot in this league, slashing and holding and all that stuff, as long as it doesn't affect possession. Wrong! That seemed like a pretty prime example of a player not being allowed to go for the puck that he was trying to go for. No matter. Hey, the Leafs are only down 1. Go ahead and score your way out of those problems. It's easy, right? Eat enough of these, you become the Rock. Let's go. Sorry. I just realized that I left behind Levos' assist earlier. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to that. Hey, look, I'm looking about as bad as the Leafs did. Missing assignments? Oh, brutal. Midway through the second, Leafs on the penalty kill. Freddie makes a bunch of really important saves. There's a scramble in the crease. Flyers can't bury it. Freddie's there. Unfortunately, Nikita Zaitsev clears it over the glass. But again, he's still keeping the minute. You can't ask your goalie to be a Vezina goalie every night, but what you can do is expect your goalie to keep you in it. And Freddie did that. He upheld his end of the bargain. And I know we're all dumping on Freddie now, and I did it recently, but here's just showing that I'm fair about it. Saw a bunch of people go, oh, it's so easy to blame the goalie. Look, it's not my fault that the last video of mine was the first one you watched, okay? I told you I was mad, didn't I? I'm no X's and O's guy, but it seemed like Dominic Moore was playing a little too aggressive on the PK. And then Valtteri Filppula gets the puck, and who's in his face? Riley's right there, but is he? He gets a clear shot, and it's a great shot. Beats Frederik Andersen 3-1. Look, I know. It'd be nice to get the occasional save, but you can't keep letting teams get these A-grade shooting chances. It's the NHL. It is the National Hockey League. Guys can wire it. Nazem Kadri with a nice diving goal, and that's great. The Leafs are within 1. But I want to talk about guys wiring it and being uncontested again because that's exactly what happened. And let's just gloss over it because that Giroux goal made it so that goal didn't even count anyway. Again, Giroux has just a clear path. It's a wicked shot. Beats Freddie. Yes, you'd like him to stop it, but it's a wicked shot from Claude Giroux. Here's what I was thinking of with this because when I see the goals, the first reaction I had was, oh, friggin' Freddie. And then I watched it a few times. I'm going, okay, wait here. I think back to some of the goals Matthews has scored, and even this season. Really, what did he do? On a bunch of them, he shot it. he just shot it. That goal against Scott Darling, he just shot it. Those 2 on Carey Price, he just shot it. That goal in overtime against the Blackhawks, he just shot it. If you give NHL shooters a clear path, they're gonna bury it. They're gonna specifically aim for parts of the net that are difficult to stop. That's kind of their job. It's the goalie's job to stop the puck. It's the shooter's job to make it difficult for the goalie to stop the puck. It's their Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner relationship. A little bit more like Batman and the Joker, actually. The good Joker, not the one from Suicide Squad. Oh, I told you I was in a bad mood. Oh, Jared Leto's crazy. Shut up. Point being, most of Austin Matthews' goals we don't look at and go, wow, the goalie sure sucked on that one. We look at it and go, damn, Austin Matthews. Look at him out there. Look at him out there being good with his amazing shot, making it difficult for defenders and goalies to stop him. So kind of step out of yourself and watch these goals that way. Yes, it'd be nice to see Frederik Andersen turn into vintage Martin Brodeur and get that puck in his glove and throw a little mustard on it, but he can't do that every single time, and there are so many opportunities every single game to do it. The Leafs defense isn't good enough. The Leafs defense isn't good enough. The Leafs defense isn't good enough. Say it with me until it's fact. Asterisk, it doesn't matter if you do it with me because it's fact. Did you watch the game? Did you? Well, then good. You know it's fact. Leafs can't bury it in the third period, and the Flyers bury them. And now the Leafs head out on a long road trip. Remember I talked about this a few videos ago? Remember I talked about this? November and December. The schedule blows. For Halloween, the Leafs costume was a team trying to look like it gave a damn about defense. Your costume sucks! Alright, let's talk about the issue here, okay? It's because it's one thing to just shout that the defense sucks. First target, Mike Babcock. Well, we didn't work hard enough, and we weren't prepared enough, and we didn't compete enough, and, you know, compete and work hard, and 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 compete and work hard, again. According to Mike Babcock, the Leafs aren't executing well, and they don't seem to be competing hard enough. Okay, fine. Well, somebody has to pay for that. What we've talked about several times, and I'm sure the Leafs would agree, Zach Hyman and Connor Brown are incredibly hard workers. Zach Hyman has worked hard his entire time in the Leafs organization, and he has been given several amazing opportunities as a result. And right now, he is on the Leafs top line, which, even through this little skid, is one of the best lines in hockey. In fact, as long as we're talking about relying on Freddie Andersen too much, the Leafs rely on this line too much. You can't be losing every game that this line doesn't score 2 or 3 goals for you. But the point is, Zach Hyman works hard, got rewarded. Connor Brown, incredibly hard worker, goes on the 4th line to start the season, and they talk repeatedly about how he doesn't deserve to be on the 4th line. The second an opportunity presents itself, they go, you know what, we're moving Connor up. He deserves it. He works hard, and he has earned this opportunity. Of Josh Leivo, Mike Babcock said, I thought Leivo was involved in scoring chances and was very good for us, and he was competitive, and so we need more of that from some of the guys who have been playing each night. Okay, I understand you're protecting your guys by not saying exactly who you were talking about in terms of people who aren't competing hard enough. Joshua Leivo is on this hockey team, and you know that, Mike. You see him at practice all the time, and if he was involved in scoring chances for you and was very good and was very competitive and was more competitive than some of the guys that you're playing every night, well, then maybe they shouldn't play every night and Josh should get in there. I know you're not allergic to wake-up calls. You put Marner on the 4th line. This team has the back-checking speed of a booger trickling down your face in winter. I'm not saying Leivo fixes that, but for crying out loud, do something. Would have been nice to see Kapanen get more of a chance, but he agreed there. Yes, the team was missing their second leading scorer in JVR, but look at the depth on this team. Look at the roster that they iced. That wasn't good enough. And it's not like JVR is ever going to win a Selke anyway. You can tell Mike Babcock is frustrated with his team's performance, and I think you can tell he's frustrated with his team, and he sort of talked about that with the Bozak line. I can't help but feel like he's going to do something somewhat major soon. I don't necessarily think it's going to involve a trade, but maybe shuffling those lines a little bit. You got the depth to do it, why not? Speaking of trades, next target, Leafs management. Now, I understand talking about Lou Lamoriello and the Leafs management might mean that I wake up with a horse head in my bed tomorrow, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. This team entered the season with a defense core that Mike Babcock was unsatisfied with. You know how I know that? Right out of the gate, he used 2.5 defenders on the penalty kill. Now, maybe part of that is at some point you're like, you know what? Well, this will be a band-aid solution. We know Roman Polak is going to come back at some point. If Leafs management's ace in the hole was Roman Polak coming back, they grossly overestimated their talent. Look again, Steve, what are you freaking out about? The Leafs are 7-4. Look, they got 1 win in 4 games, and in the 7 games that they won, they look crap defensively too. It's a problem. What are you going to do? Argue that it's not? Argue that the Leafs defense is fine? It's not. Full stop. End of discussion. Stop. Don't insult me. Don't insult yourself. The Leafs defense sucks. Moving on. We've been ripping on Marc Bergevin for for trying and whiffing at a couple things this past summer. He tried to re-sign Radulov, whiffed. Tried to re-sign Markov, whiffed. Rumor has it the Leafs tried to get Travis Hamonic out of the Islanders in exchange for James Van Riemsdyk, and it didn't work. So the Leafs have identified that their blue line is an issue, and they did try to address it. Granted, they whiffed. So it's bullcrap they haven't made a move. No, I'm not even going to say that, because I assume they have the same assessment as us. This blue line isn't good enough. And they're not willing to make a knee-jerk, reactionary, stupid move. And to that, I commend them. But boy, 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 this is not good enough, and they're going to have to make a move at some point. And I think they're trying to. I want to know what it is. Look, I'm not an NHL GM. All I know is that if the Leafs have an assessment of this D-core that it isn't good enough, they had all summer to do something about it. Yeah, they got Rosen. Yeah, they got Borgman. Borgman you got to be patient with. He's young. He's a rookie. I get it. But for Polak to be your backup plan, that's simply inadequate. That's not good enough. And frankly, he has not been good enough through the first few games that he's played to justify Connor Carrick sitting another game. He's got to get his feet back under him. He broke his leg. Guys, you're killing me here. You'd think, oh, veteran Roman Polak, he'll be a nice calming presence for Borgman. Does he look calm? You know who I'd be calling? And I'm not saying you're going to get a defender out of them, but you should give them a call. The Edmonton Oilers. Nick Kiprio saying on the broadcast that the Oilers are already pissed off about the Strome for Eberle trade. That is an emotional GM on an emotional team that might just make a stupid move with you. Flyers fans, if I were you, I wouldn't be too cocky because I wasn't really overly impressed with the Flyers, if I'm honest. Sorry, I'm usually a little more complimentary in these segments. What I would say is that the sky is not falling, which is what I've gotten the impression of from Flyers Twitter. Because that was a good road win for the Philadelphia Flyers, even if it wasn't perfect. They went in there with a game plan against a team with a pretty obvious game plan and lots of depth, and they smothered them and they beat them. Like I said, Scott Laughton punked the Leafs in their own building. You played Flyers hockey on enemy territory and you won. I'd also be pretty happy about Brian Elliott. He seems much better than he was with the Flames, and at least at the beginning. So that's how I'd look at it if I were you. Leafs fans, I am less angry. As you can tell, the screaming has dissipated as the video went on. Here's why. The Leafs got a slap in the face right when they needed it. You had a cakewalk 3-game homestand and blew it. Now you got to get your feet back under you on the road in California. Have fun with that. Any team that is supposed to be a contender and future champion will have fun with that. And last but not least, thank you to everybody who donated to my stupid, crazy mission to play a hockey game this week. For those of you who are hearing this for the first time, the donations do not go to me, they go to Easter Seals, and it's a really good cause, and it's something near and dear to my heart. If you want to donate, link down below. And that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching my yelling and screaming in bad mood. Click like if you like this video, click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. And the great news about the biggest problem being not trying hard enough is the only solution is to try harder. That goes for hockey and it goes for life. You will not defeat me!